I'd like to introduce to you Syed Rizvi. Syed has worked in small to medium enterprises as well as global companies. He's had an opportunity over the last 12 years that I've known him and watched him to work with some remarkable startup companies with innovative technology as well as with global companies, working from talking to prospects to talking to the boardroom to talking to the installed base. Let's see what we can learn from Syed. Welcome, Syed. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you, Doug.
How are you doing?
Very well indeed.
Fantastic. A CEO once said, I know 50% of my forecast is fiction. I'm just not sure which 50%. You think that's true today?
It's often very true, probably more true than most of us would like. However, I think there's some simple things that we as sales managers and leaders of businesses can do to actually minimize that level of variability. So for example, one of the very basic things is meeting and sitting down with your customers. So that's where the joint calls with your sales teams come in and play a vital role in terms of not just improving their effectiveness, but enabling you to interpret what's going on the ground. I think you can't be an effective sales manager if you spend all of your time in the office behind a spreadsheet and a desk. Number two, the deal reviews and the opportunity to discuss and agree strategies and tactics raise the effectiveness in terms of not just winning business, but also give you as a management team a very clear idea of the risks involved, particularly with significant deals. And once you have a clear understanding of that, you can actually build a far more accurate view of not just your pipeline, but also your forecast.
In your experience, what's the connection between coaching on the road, deal reviews, and the accuracy of your sales forecast? How can we get sales reps to wring out the fiction from their sales forecast?
Where salespeople are being either overly confident or extremely conservative, that comes down to the sales manager sitting down, discussing with the individual why they've either put deals in at far too large a value or more deals than they should have into the forecast, as well as the counter situation where everything's been left out of the forecast.
What are your views on probability-based forecasts? For example, I've got a $1 million deal, I'm 60% in, so I say it's worth $600,000. Is that reality?
Absolutely not. Or in the cases of most high technology businesses, absolutely not. The one case where I do believe it can make sense is where you've got a well-established high-volume transactional business where the sales process is very repeatable, very scalable, and then you are able to get a reasonable amount of accuracy. That's rarely going to be an effective way of forecasting.
Can you extrapolate that a little bit more? Let's say that there are 4 competitors going for the same $1 million deal, and they're all saying we're 80% in, it's $800,000 in our back pocket. Only one of those companies is actually going to win the deal. How do you get to reality in that situation?
Certainly not all of them are going to win, and so only one of them is correct in terms of its forecast. The way we achieve that is through the sales process and effective sales management through the progression of the deal. And the critical tool in that is really deal reviews and joint meetings with the client, supporting the tactics and eliminating the risks identified through the deal reviews.
In your mind, what are the main differentiators between great managers, extraordinary managers, and just ordinary managers in respect to what we've talked about today?
I recall a couple of years ago, I inherited a sales manager I hasten to add not in the UK, whose whole approach to sales management, and particularly with respect to forecasting, was to guess. Totally finger in the air. And soon as you asked him to justify how he arrived at a particular number, there was no substance to it. It was very clear to see. And I think the impact of that is actually terminal on a particular business, because you no longer have the predictability that is critical to running a successful business and to plan for its growth in the future. Secondly, the team working for that manager very quickly has no confidence in him or her. And equally, that means the effectiveness of that unit goes down significantly as well.